the Henry brass axe. Let's check it out. Henry makes, to me, the best lever action rifles out on the market. I mean, they are really high quality, very well done, fitted just right. The American walnut stocks are beautiful on here. They're all sourced in the USA. And these Henrys are all made in the USA, or not at all. They are solid little lever actions. This is the Henry brass axe. Has a brass receiver. It's got a 15 1/4 inch barrel. There's no pistol, it's just a pistol grip. There's no stock to it. This is based a lot on the original mare's leg, which Henry has offered for a number of years. Very short, compact, utility type firearm. To be honest with you, I've always looked at those as more of a novelty. I mean, they're just small and compact. But in 410, this really interested me. I thought this is going to be cool. I've always wanted one just to take out and test out and just have some fun with. But taking this little 410 out was a lot of fun. Now, we really appreciate Henry for getting in touch with us and sending the brass axe in 410 for the Sootch compound. Guys, this is definitely a very unusual looking lever action with the cut down version. I think that the original mare's legs had actually a little bit more of a stock and actually had a butt plate on the back, but it was still too short to shoulder. This is a pistol, and that's the reason why it can come with the less than 16-inch barrel. But it's not really that much less. I mean, it's 15.14 inches in length. It is a solid brass receiver, which is beautiful. It's got a lot of classic looks, especially with the Old West. But again, this does come in a blued version as well if you like the blued steel. Now guys, not every gun is super practical. This can be used for sure, but I wouldn't say that this is more practical than, you know, a standard pistol. Even a rifle that's got the shorter barrel length, the 16-inch barrel length, it's pretty close. But this is definitely something that's totally different, and I really like the looks of this. Now first we'll make sure the gun is unloaded. We're going to drop our lever and it's empty. Now one thing I love about Henry is that these levers are super smooth, which really allows this to be shot very easily. You know, if this was a little bit more difficult to load and wasn't as smooth, you know, it's not going to be as enjoyable. This does come with the side gate, which is nice. That's one of the new features that Henry has started offering, but I love that they're still retaining the tube, the tubular magazine. And so we have a brass tube that comes out, and with this one, typically on your lever actions you have like a hole here to be able to drop your rounds in, but with the 410 you just load it right from the top. And this holds 5 rounds, and of course 1 in the chamber, and then just drop down your lever and just lock it into place. Here at the front you do have a brass band on the handguard, and of course that American walnut is beautiful, which also carries through to the pistol grip. And then you can see that there is a tang right here at the back of the receiver, and you do have your model number and your serial number. It's also drilled and tapped for a scope, and this takes the Weaver mounts. Now the hammer does have some serrations on it, and there is a transfer bar safety on here. So this is going to keep it drop safe and allow you to shoot it and not worry about dropping it. But typically you're not necessarily going to be using the hammer, because every time you pull that lever, the hammer comes into the rear position. Now there's no rear sight, but this is more or less as a shotgun. So we do have a bead post at the front and it's really easy to pick up that bead when you're pointing it. Now again, the barrel is 15.14 inches in length, but overall it's 26.4 inches. Some of the original mare's legs in rifle calibers or pistol calibers had a 12.5 inch barrel, so they were a little bit shorter. This one just kind of extends it out with the 410. And the weight on these are about 5.75 pounds. Now there's a sling swivel stud in the brass cap and also at the pistol grip. And while there's no butt cap, there is the Henry logo embossed into the pistol grip. Now 410 is definitely small. It is a shotgun bore. It's 410 bore is what it's called. And there's a ton of self-defense options that have come out, especially since the advent of the Taurus Judge and the Smith & Wesson Governor. And so you have a lot of self-defense options out there. I mean, the Hornady Critical Defense is good, but there's a ton of others. And a lot of these are specialty ammos, and it's just right for this little lever action. And of course, you can get your traditional 410 shells as well. Here we have the 3-inch shell. It will not go in the brass axe. You need to go with 2.5 inch. Now it comes with the full choke, and this is the Invector style. This is removable if you want to change chokes, but this is the way it comes from the factory. Now when it comes to trigger pull, it's just a really clean break. I mean, it is nice. There is no over travel. There's really no take up. Let's check the trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 2 pounds, 14 ounces. It's nice and light. Now we have a number of different ammos right now in 410, which is a little bit difficult to get, but we have some of the Remington Express, XLR, then we have some Ultimate Defense, we have some Herders, and then we have some Hornady Critical Defense. We're just going to test out a few of them. These are 2.5 inches, like we've talked about, not 3 inch, which I do have 3 inch. I don't have any Fiocchi in the 410, or obviously we'd be using that. Okay, now the one great thing about the Henrys now with the side gate, again, is you can load 2 different ways. And so you can load it directly from the side gate, just popping them in until the magazine tube's full. Or it still retains the tube on the end, so we can pull this out, and then we can actually drop rounds directly down in here this way. Then we can take the brass tube, put it back in, lock it down, and now we have a full tube magazine. Now, when I first got the brass axe, man, I wanted to put it on my hip and I wanted to shoot it and just bring that lever back and forth. I felt like the rifleman. It's just a lot of fun because it's so compact. And with 410, you know, you have a little more spread than you do with your standard calibers, but not really a lot. I mean, with the full choke, it's pretty solid. But whether we were shooting from the hip or lifting it up and firing it, that's one of the things about this, is that it is versatile. You're not going to get quite the accuracy you're going to get out of a standard shoulder-fired rifle, but it's still handy and it's very capable. Yeah, you can't cock that lever up here.
Not enough leverage on it, is there?
You got to bring it down to cock it.
Yeah.
I love that they've gone with the side gate as well as the tube fed, and I'm glad again that they have retained that tube fed. It's so much easier to load through the tube, and then if you need to top it off, you can do it right here on the side gate. So it's kind of like, you know, just a very versatile loading system. The brass is beautiful. The biggest problem is you're going to get fingerprints on it at the range. Robbie Wheaton, Sarah Mack, and I took it out, just shot it, did some testing with it, and it was just a lot of fun. I mean, it's just one of those type firearms that's almost a novelty, but yet it can be used effectively as a self-defense weapon, and really up close and personal, which 410 would be used best for. You know, you're going to be able to get on target, whether you're shooting it from the hip or you're shooting it, putting it out in front of you. One thing that really surprised me was how close the groups were when I was shooting it from the hip. Seemed like that first round was a little higher, but then they all settled into one spot. You know, when you're bringing this up, the bead is more like a shotgun, and it just definitely puts it in that same spot. Even though it's a little bit ungainly, even though you're cocking it and bringing it back up, you're finding that bead just like a regular shotgun. It is in 410, but those groups are pretty decent. Now, whether we were shooting just regular target loads or even buckshot, it was really easy on the recoil. 410 is very easy, very mild to shoot. You're not going to be able to put slugs through this, obviously, because of the choke, and it is a full choke, and so you want to steer away from slugs. And then, of course, it's only 2.5 inch on your shells. But really, for what this is, and it being short and handy, 2.5 inch is really about all you need. We're going to try some Hornady Critical Defense. This is the triple defense, has 3 rounds of buckshot. Okay, here is the pattern. It's like a round here, here, and here, and that must be the wadding, and that's at 10 yards. Next, we're trying the Remington Ultimate Defense, and this is triple aught buck. Here we have a little bit more of a spread. Looks like that we have 4 rounds with the Remington. And again, that's 10 yards. And that's right in the kill zone. In one of the westerns that Steve McQueen was in back in the 1950s, he did carry a cut-off lever action rifle for self-defense. Of course, this looks like something more out of Zombieland or Red Dead Redemption. Now, considering pros and cons, because of the weight, it's a little bit awkward to shoot. I mean, you're kind of putting it out there in front of you when you're firing it. To me, my favorite way to shoot it is actually at the hip. It's just fun, but you really need to know what you're doing and get a lot of practice to be really efficient. But really, when you're bringing it up with the 410, being no backside, it shoots like a shotgun, but yet it has a lot less recoil. 410 bore is really lightweight, light recoil, and so, you know, it makes it fun to just kind of point and shoot. It's definitely compact, it's definitely handy. It still has that lever action feel to it, and if you love the Old West, that even makes it more appealing. Now, with some of the mare's legs options, you know, with pistol calibers, you know, you can mate that to a handgun that you carry on your side, especially a revolver. With this, with 410, you know, you might want to carry the Judge or the Smith & Wesson Governor to have ammo compatibility. But if you want to have a small shotgun with 5-round capability, this could be something easy to carry. And then you have your pistol. Not necessarily what I would consider an optimum self-defense firearm, but yet it is short, compact, and it does have that 410 capability. So you're going to have less penetration inside your home. But it's not going to give the stability that it would have if it had a stock. And of course, then it would be a rifle. As far as a pistol, I think this is a lot of fun. It's great to have. It's almost a novelty when you take it out, but once you practice with it, you can get pretty good with it. And so I think it does have some advantages. But guys, let's face it, most people buy a number of different firearms because they like them. They're not necessarily depending on them for self-defense. But I think this is a very unusual design that could fit in certain situations. Now, Henry is known for, again, their lever action rifles. I mean, they, to me, make the best lever action rifles on the market. They are super smooth. The quality is just excellent, the fit and finish. And it's no different with the brass axe or the standard axe. And the retail price comes in at $1,132. But you go to your local gun shop and market price will typically be less. So the Henry brass axe or the Henry axe, they're just two really neat little firearms, very close to the body, very compact, very easy to maneuver, a little bit ungainly when you're pointing it, but yet that brass bead shows up really well. So when you bring it up, you see the brass bead and you're able to put shots on target. I don't know that this would actually be my first choice in a self-defense situation. Obviously, you know, it's going to be a little bit different. But it is a lot of fun at the range, and it's just one of those things that even as a novelty, it's fun to get out to the range just to shoot. But again, self-defense option is there. And we really appreciate Henry for sending the brass axe for this review. It's been a lot of fun. And there are times where it's all about the fun. Now, we really appreciate Sportsman's Guide for being one of our sponsors. And they give a $20 off every $100 or more purchase using Sootch, no 00. And they have all kind of outdoor related, camping, hiking, firearms, you name it, they've got it. But one thing that I use them probably the most for is their military surplus from around the world. And if you join their buyers club, you get a better price and you get free shipping on most items. So check out Sportsman's Guide. It's a great resource. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Now we have a 3-inch shell. This will not go in the brass sack. And then once that's full,
you can shoot it across the lawn.
Speed racer. And then we can take the brass tube, put it back in, and then when we have too many rounds in here, I loaded too many. Oh, there it goes again. Now first we're going to try some Hornady. I don't know why I can't say that word. First we're going to try some Hornady. First we're going to try some Hornady Critical Defense. And first we're going to try some Hornady. I said it, now I can't say it. Okay, we're going to try some Critical Defense by Hornady. And this is triple up buck. And we're just going to see how it does.
Let me double check that on.
What? Oh, check it. Okay. I'm like, come on, dude. I just said it.
So I think it's just got 3 balls in there.
It says 3 balls in it. We're going to try we're going to try some 410 Critical Defense, and this is their triple threat.
Triple defense.
It's not triple threat.
Now, if I can actually get it right, then I can't say Hornady.
Oh.
Hornady.
That one did.
Was made for loving you, baby.
You know I'm going to be singing that the rest of the day.
Huh?
I'm going to be singing that the rest of the day.
Just watch it on YouTube. Then you'll be really singing it for the next week.